Today I'm going to be reading The Tiny Detectives. Do Koalas Have Fingerprints? By Cressida Cowell. First, I'm going to tell you the parts of the book. The front cover, the spine, the back cover, the body, inside here, and title page. I'm going to read. Meet the Tiny Detectives. The Tiny Detectives are very little indeed. They are also very curious. That's why they live in a bookcase, because even the little people can find answers to big questions if they dive into a book. And that is exactly what the Tiny Detectives do best. One evening, Tyga was eating chocolate cake and got messy. Fingerprints all down her front. That made Ollie think of a big question. Is it only humans that have fingerprints? I think some animals in Australia do too, said Dad. Why don't you and Tyga and Bo find out the answer yourselves? But remember to hide if you see any humans. A human must never see a tiny detective. So Tyga and Ollie and Bo's pet, Beetle, climbed up the top of a bookshelf. They opened a book called Unsolved Mysteries of Australia. Ollie wound the red story thread around his waist so they could get back out of the book at the end of the adventure. And they left it right into a house in the Australian bush. The tiny detectives hid behind a coffee mug as they watched a human boy get schooled by his mother. She had left a huge slice of pie covered in whipped cream on the kitchen table, and somebody ate it all. It wasn't me, said the boy, but his mom didn't believe him. She was crossed and left the boy to clean up the mess. I don't think the boy ate the pie, said Ollie. I'll solve this case of the missing pie because I am the eldest. Being older doesn't always make you smarter, whispered Tyga, who was the second oldest. Outside the kitchen window, there was an eucalyptus tree. Look, said Tyga, pointing at the tree. There were creamy white fingerprints all the way up the trunk. Whoever ate the pie must be hiding up that tree, said Ollie. I thought of that first, argued Tyga. Shh, whispered Bo. Remember, a human must never see a tiny detective. The tiny detectives crept out of the window, climbed the tree. At the top was a round koala fast asleep. The koala's fingers were covered in cream. A koala's fingerprints are exactly like a human's, said Tyga. So it was the koala who ate the pie, said Ollie truthfully. I knew I'd save the case. Bo looked at Beetle. Beetle thinks koalas don't eat pies, whispered Bo. They mostly eat eucalyptus leaves. The koalas must have stepped in the mess when it was climbing the tree, thought Bo. That was when they noticed some big white prints at the bottom of the tree. They led to the family cat. And all around the cat's mouth was cream. Look, shouted Tyga, pointing at the cat, determined to solve the case first. Down there, yelled Ollie. Shush, whispered Bo. Meow, went the cat, spotting Ollie and Tyga. Its fur was standing on the end as it hissed and bared its claws at them. The human boy came out to see what was wrong with the cat. He took one look at the cat's cream-covered mouth and gasped, "Mom, look! The cat ate the pie! Come on, we'd better run before one of them sees us," said Tyga. So Ollie hurried, gave 3 big tugs on the red story thread, and they went up, up, up through the leafy pages of the eucalyptus tree, landing safely on the book prints. Koalas have fingerprints, and they're just like humans' ones, Ollie told their parents. "But I've solved the case first," said Tyga. Bo and Beetle looked at one another and sighed as they ate their chocolate cake. "Being older doesn't always make you smarter," Tyga and Ollie said. They had been so busy arguing the humans nearly seed them. And the human must never see a tiny detective.
Go.
That's the end of our story. What do you think of it? What was the moral of the story? Good job!